than halfway through the year, and already the handheld market is flooded with new devices. Before the year ends, there will be a couple more released with even more powerful chipsets like the Z2 Extreme, making it so these handhelds will be pushing the potential when it comes to gaming on the go. But where does that leave the Steam Deck? And more importantly, if you have not purchased a gaming handheld yet, is it too late to buy yourself a Steam Deck? This is a loaded question, and one I feel many Steam Deck fanboys will flat out tell you, yeah, you should just buy yourself a Steam Deck. But there are a lot of reasons for and against this decision, which would make anyone new to the handheld hobby a bit confused and overwhelmed. I too was once in your shoes, researching these devices for hours a day, comparing one to the other based on what they could and couldn't do. At that time, I had just built a very powerful gaming PC, so I wasn't looking to take heavier games like Destiny 2 on the go. I wanted something I could put ROMs on and just jump into Worms Armageddon for the Dreamcast. And that's exactly what the Steam Deck can do. The Steam Deck is now a few years old. In fact, it's starting to look ancient compared to these newer handhelds. So if you were worried about purchasing an outdated device, you have every reason to be hesitant to pick one up. But I'm here to tell you, now is the best time to buy a Steam Deck, even if there are way better options out there. Currently, there are multiple Windows gaming handhelds available on the market. They will cost you upwards of $1,000 and will take you hours to get up and running because you are setting up Windows 11, which means installing and updating drivers, as well as personalizing it to your liking, blah, blah, blah. This is where the advantages of buying a Steam Deck comes into play. The Steam Deck was released with 3 storage options and 1 OLED model at different price points, all under $600. I was cheap and bought myself a 64 gig refurbished Steam Deck and swapped out the storage for 1 terabyte SSD that I got from Amazon for like $80. The swap was extremely easy, and altogether this cost me less than the 500 gig Steam Deck, making it a steal. Also, Valve personally refurbishes these handhelds, so when I got mine, it was like a brand new device and it came with the case, and it also did not smell like somebody was dead in their apartment for months at a time. Compared to a Windows handheld, this Steam Deck runs on SteamOS, hands down the best operating system optimized for a gaming handheld device. You just turn this bad boy on and are immediately at your games library. And it has the ability of cloud saving, so you could pick up your games exactly where they left off when you were playing them on your computer. You can also put the device to sleep when you need to run outside to grab your Chinese food you ordered, and when you turn it back on, you don't have to restart the game like you would on a Windows handheld. It's at the same spot where you paused it, making the Steam Deck really the best option when it comes to its console-like experiences, something the Windows handhelds do not even come close to. However, since the Steam Deck's release, there are constantly more powerful Windows handhelds coming out, like I said, that can play your Call of Duties and Destiny 2s because they have anti-cheat software, something the Steam Deck doesn't have. They also can run GPU-intensive AAA games at 60 frames per second, and almost all of them have beautiful displays running at 120 Hz, even if they are not OLEDs. If you're worried about buying a device that is starting to age out, there is another option available if you were really only interested in a device running SteamOS. The Legion Go S is the first third-party gaming handheld to be packaged officially with SteamOS right out of the box. That means no downloading and no having to dual boot any operating systems. There are multiple versions of the Legion Go S though, which does get confusing, but for the sake of this video, there are 2 SteamOS models. One that's dark purple and runs on a Z2 Go chip, and a white model that runs on the Z1 Extreme chip, which is way better, but will cost you almost like $900. The Z2 Go chip, honestly, for its price at $600, isn't a bad purchase. However, for the same amount of money, you can get an OLED Steam Deck with 1 terabyte of storage. I would argue, however, that the Legion Go S's screen, although not OLED, looks way better than the actual OLED Steam Deck's display, but that's just me. These are both great options though for someone who doesn't mind spending that kind of money on a gaming device. I should also note that Valve has released official ports of SteamOS that you can download on a majority of these Windows 11 devices. You just have to install and figure out how to dual boot into it, but you would be getting a way more powerful device. And if you are waiting around for a Steam Deck 2, there really are only rumors surrounding it coming out, and since Valve is supporting third-party devices, it's a little hard to recommend that someone should wait around for it to be announced. A couple more positives in the Steam Deck's corner is that Valve is constantly updating SteamOS, giving the device better performance here and there so it's not as outdated. The Steam Deck community is also a very active and close group where you can easily find yourself mods, controller layouts, and answers to any questions you may have. And last but most importantly is the Steam Deck's ability to hook right up to the TV without any issues. You can buy yourself a dock that has multiple USB ports and a USB-C charging cable that also allows it to connect to your TV for very cheap, like $20. This turns your handheld basically into a gaming console where you can connect a controller wirelessly as well as headphones through Bluetooth if you wanted to. The Steam Deck shows right up on on your TV, ready to play Kingsley's Adventure for the PlayStation 1, even if that game was very annoying to get through. Whereas a Windows device will make you go into your settings to change the displays because it's basically a computer, and honestly, doing it this way is very laggy. So if you were interested in buying a Steam Deck, but were worried it might be too late based on its age, your concerns are valid. But truthfully, all of these handhelds basically will get you the same performances, just with slightly more frames per second and a little longer battery life. With its pricing and console-like experiences though, the Steam Deck really is still the best gaming handheld compared to anything else on the market. Alright, well, if you haven't gotten a Steam Deck, are you considering buying one now? I know there are a lot of options out there, but they're pretty expensive and they're gonna take a lot of time to get set up, whereas the Steam Deck will just jump you right into your games. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, share it with a friend who's considering buying a Steam Deck, and don't forget to subscribe. Alright, goodbye.